Parliament is back.
Back again.
The MPs are back at work, and so are we.
This week we've had the Labour Party conference, the Supreme Court's ruling on the prorogation of Parliament, Boris Johnson apparently giving his ex-affair, forward/model friend over £150,000 in taxpayers' money, and we've also had Donald Trump getting killed by the stare of a 16-year-old Swede.
So, prepare yourself for some terrible politics in this week's Weekly Roundup.
First up, we started the week with the Labour Party conference.
This was a full-on sort of popper that even Peggy Mitchell would have been proud of.
From embarrassing Emily Thornby speeches to political coups, and even a lawyer who thinks meat should be made illegal in pubs.
Say what you want about the Labour Party, but they're more exciting than a 2-for-1 in your local brothel.
There was an attempt to oust Tom Watson as deputy leader by removing his position altogether.
Jeremy Corbyn stood firm and stuck up for his deputy, similar to how he used to stick up for Diane Abbott.
It's because they used to fuck, isn't it? John McDonnell made his speech this week at the Labour Party conference and decided he didn't like anything about the UK, so he's proposed the following: a 32-hour working week, £6 billion for the over 60s, abolishing private schools and scrapping Ofsted.
And I've got more chance of having a threesome with Margaret Robbie and Mila Kunis than these happening.
But on the whole, it is difficult to argue with John's proposals, and he has seemed to have got through conference week relatively unscathed. Well done, John. Well done.
Parliament is back following the decision of the Supreme Court's ruling that the prorogation was unlawful as it has been used for the wrong reasons.
Well, no shit, Sherlock. Do we need 11 judges and Gina Miller to work that out? Parliament returned with the opening urgent question to the Attorney General, Geoffrey Cox. If you don't know who he is, he's basically the love child of Brian Blessed and Christopher Biggins.
His defence of both himself and the government's position on the decision to prorogue wasn't going well, so out of nowhere came
full-on pantomime bad guy attack.
The speech turned dramatic, hand gestures galore, deep burbly chin-wobbling lines spouted out of his mouth with a provocative attack at the Labour Party's front bench.
Which would probably have worked well if anyone could understand what the fuck he was saying.
I think that's good. Boris and Corbyn naturally clashed, as is their job.
Boris's speech consisted mainly of dribble, waffle and whiff-waff. No, it really did.
It related mainly to challenging the opposition to a general election. He's obviously stuck unless the numbers in the House change.
Jeremy
Cunt.
Corbyn bit back and attacked Boris's government for their illegal actions and called for his resignation.
It was, however, similar to an anticlimactic version of a scene straight out of Star Wars 2, Episode 2, The Attack of the Clones. Boris as Senator Palpatine, the Sith Lord himself, Corbyn looking like Yoda, all old, confused, looking like there's a major disturbance in the Force.
If only these two cunts had lightsabers to thrash their own issues out with, it'd make our job a lot easier.
This week saw the UN's Climate Change Convention.
Greta Thunberg, the 16-year-old activist, gave a dramatic and impassioned speech about the risks of climate change.
How dare you was a phrase she repeatedly used to blast this generation of politicians and business leaders who she stated were ignoring the cliff edge we're running towards at pace.
She travelled from Sweden to New York by yacht, which was refreshing to see someone practicing what they preach.
There was a particularly powerful moment as Donald Trump dragged his knuckles through to meet the press, as Greta stood in the shadowy background staring the fuck out of him.
If looks could kill, Donald wouldn't have just dropped dead in this world. His wave function would have beamed away altogether from the known fabrics of the universe. Right, and now it's time for Political Cunt of the Week. Drum roll please, Jack. No, it's not Nicola Sturgeon.
Obviously Boris Johnson.
Not only was he humiliated by his prorogation being cut short, but he also failed to get MP support for a further recess while the Tory conference carries on. That makes it the 7th out of 8 votes while being in government he has lost.
But that's not all. It has emerged that his ex-affair /model friend has also been given over £100,000 in grants by something called the Cyber Security Impact Fund. Whatever that is.
I've never heard of it.
No, Jennifer, who apparently spells her name with 2 N's, Arcuri, apparently accompanied Boris Johnson on many international trips. Boris Johnson now has less than 2 weeks to disclose his personal, social and professional relationship to the Greater London Assembly Oversight Committee. And to top it off, even Alexa thinks he's a cunt.
Boris Johnson moron cunt.
So that's this week's weekly roundup of terrible politics. If you've liked the show, give us a like, give us a share, even subscribe to our channel.
Thanks for watching this week's edition. We'll see you next week.